So, how secure is your website? Are you sure that your soon to be customers' information is protected? And what would you do if things just kind of fell apart during a launch? Are you prepared for those emergencies? Do you know how to turn it around quickly and kind of get back on track? That's what I'm going to talk about today in this video. So, let's get to it. All right, so as many of you know, last week, well, depending on when you're watching this, recently something happened in my own business and on my own site. So that brings us to tip number one for preparing for the unexpected, and that is just secure your site. Either have someone who's monitoring what's happening on the site, or you can use a tool right now like securi.net. Go to their site or do a Google search for Site Scan Securi, and they actually do allow you to do a free scan of your site. If you do that, I would suggest using a www dot version of your site as well as one without the W's. That's what I had to do to actually find out where if I had a problem, because the initial search showed nothing. So honestly, this is one of those things that if you don't have someone scanning your site for possible issues, you're not even going to know that they're happening until it's possibly too late, and then you have to shell out extra money in the process and kind of get stressed out because of what happens as a result. Now, I put my link in the comments below, or actually in the show notes below, just so that you can go listen to what happened to me and how I turned it around and fixed it. But it really essentially came down to I signed up for Securi, they cleaned my site, they scanned it, they told me to clean some stuff and to do some things like updates where there hadn't been updates for a long time. And it was a lot of stuff that I had to do in a short period of time in order to turn it around. However, the one thing that lingers because of this is now I also informed Google of that, because Google actually 1 month prior to this attack, the real attack, they actually emailed me and said, your site may have been hacked. But at the time, they actually showed me my own URL, which was not a spammy URL. It was just like, creating amazing teams. That was my URL. And so they thought that was potentially like somebody that was like a fake URL, but it actually was a real URL. So I should have listened then and kind of looked into it a little bit deeper then, but I didn't. And that's actually when I did my initial Securi scan. So anyways, let's move on, but do that now. That'll be like your quick and easy, is there anything wrong with my site or any of my sites? I would actually do a scan too of if you have additional sites, like let's say for a members area. And the across the board advice that I will give on that is make sure every single installation of WordPress, let's say you have yourname.com/members, shop, this, that, the other thing, all those need to be updated, because they do provide little holes for little hackers, which I don't even get that. I don't get why people do that, because there's nothing to see here, folks. Just move on. That's what I got to say. Anyway, so check that out. Check the podcast out. And then also, if you are watching this on YouTube and not on my blog, then go over to the blog and you'll see that I've provided a few other resources. And you can do that at AnnSamoilov.com. The next bit, okay, so this is perfect. If you are launching right now and you've got some order forms, whether you're using Infusionsoft or Ontraport, I want you to go and open up your order form right now. Okay. Once it's opened, I want you to look up in the little browser address bar and tell me if there's a lock and what color it is. So if it's not green, and you've got to look at it sometimes in different browsers, but if it's not green, then you might have an insecure order form. So about a year ago, on a project I was working on for someone, we discovered that the people who had created our order form had indeed provided the look and feel that we wanted for the order form, but they had not secured the new font that we wanted them to use, nor had they used, they didn't even create it in a way that made our template secure. So the basic Infusionsoft order form is very secure, but when you start adding images and new fonts and this and that, you actually if you use just like your regular old server, let's say you store your images on your FTP site, that doesn't have the same sort of protection as inside Infusionsoft. There's a different way that you have to configure your images so that they are also protected, because those little elements that look beautiful actually create an environment which can be compromised by, possibly compromised, not necessarily, but possibly compromised by someone else. Then the other thing too is that who wants on the top of their order form, that address bar, to say this site might not be secure? Like, who wants to buy from a site like that? Not me. So go check that out right now and fix it if you need to. And also, if you jump over to the blog, you'll see some images. I pop some images just so you know what you're looking for. So you're looking for something that is has like a little, kind of like a caution triangle in front of it. You're looking for a red lock. You're looking for anything else. And you can just run your cursor over it, and you can click on it even, and it'll give you the information about why it's not secure. Next tip is actually just show you are secure to the outside world. So make sure you have secure order form, like click to the secure order form, or make sure you have your seals from your payment processor or payment gateway system. Make sure you have your business address and business phone number listed on your site, and your refund policies and your terms of service and your privacy agreements. Those are really important. And if you have one of those systems already in place, like Authorize.net requires you to do that before they actually say you're okay to use them. So if you're not using them yet though, if you're just, let's say, using PayPal, go for it and simply put PayPal and do all those same things that Authorize.net or another reputable payment gateway would ask you to do. Okay. Number 4, this is a good one that actually doesn't really make you more secure, but definitely it protects you, right? It protects you and what you're making during your launch. So what you want to do is you want to communicate with all of your services. So you want to call PayPal, yes. You want to call Authorize.net, maybe a merchant account, maybe another, whatever you're using to process your payments. If you have any kind of API set up for whatever process people go through to pay, you want to make sure you notify both parties. Like for me, I would notify Infusionsoft if I'm using their API to connect with another service on my site, which I am doing. So before that goes live, I'm definitely going to be saying to them, hey guys, there might be a few more API hits because of this, this, and this. And all you really need to do is just tell them, hey, I'm launching a product, we're having an event, there might be some, there's probably going to be a higher volume of sales this month or something like that, just so that they understand and can see that you are not even just responsible, just so that they can note on your account more volume expected or something, so that they don't just shut your account down thinking that there's spam attacks or some other things happening. I mean, the API hit thing definitely happened for one of the past companies that I worked with, because we didn't tell Infusionsoft that there might be a few more API hits than they expected. So that's super important. A few other places you can actually, and you should, especially as you grow, you're going to want to do this, is you want to let your bank know, your processing bank. Your actual bank account might be like, wow, there's a lot of influx of stuff here, and they're trying to protect you, of course. They don't want like fraudulent things coming into your account. Not that they would be coming in, but regardless, it's good to tell them. Also, I highly recommend getting together with your accountant. One of the things that we did, I remember this back on B School, is we actually provided the accounting firm all the copies of our order forms and our sales page, and if there were, I think we did one for the payment plan and for the normal price, but that's always a good idea, because if they're itemizing your different projects and products and helping you figure out how much you're making and not, it's good that they have record of all that stuff, and they might even suggest that you include some additional verbiage in the bottom of your order form. If it's, let's say, if you've got your, all of your refund policy there, restated, anything else, links out to whatever she or he thinks you should do. So definitely do those. And then my final tip really is just for you again, and that is keep a central document where all of these passwords and contact information and FTP information, where all this stuff is, because in the case something does break down, and these are things that can break your launch. So if your launch happens to kind of go off the rails, then you'll be able to just get someone on the line and be like, go to the launch document, it has everything, call them, or you can call them if it's the middle of the night and you have to call them, or you're working by yourself. So I want to say that many of these things, so while they might seem like simple, do this, do that, fix this, fix that, the first three are really about instilling confidence in your soon-to-be or current customers. You want to be a good example of a reputable business. You want to care that you're doing things the right way and in a way that is transparent and that helps them trust you with their information. I mean, this is so important, and I think that's probably why this recent hit affected me so much, because I thought, oh great, I'm opening this shop, and then on Google it still says this site may have been hacked. By the way, just word to the wise, I have re-asked Google to scan my site, but I don't know when they're going to do that. So that label could be there for a while, even though I know that we've taken every single measure that we needed to take in order to clean the site, protect the site, and move the site forward. So this is all stuff that could have been avoided. And like I said, I think you are the one who has to take responsibility for it. But as I mentioned, there are these 5 ways you can actually make sure that you're protected, your money's protected, your client's credit card information is protected. So you want to secure your site, make sure that you're not open to attacks. You want to secure your order form so that you can protect your customers' information and all of your assets as well. And let's see, you also want to show you are secure to people, which it's an easy thing to do. And you want to communicate with all your services what's coming so that no one sees what you're doing as a potential attack. Because sometimes a lot of activity can be like red flag for these companies. So that, and then just have a central place to make sure that if any of these things do happen, you can easily grab it and take action, or somebody else can grab it and take action. It's been an interesting week and a half, and I'm not saying it won't happen again. I actually was laughing out loud. I'm like, wouldn't it be funny you're doing all this content on how to protect your site and then it happens again? Because you can't really say it's never going to happen to you. It's happened to many sites, and you just have to do your best, do your due diligence, make sure that you protect where you can, be conscious of messages and emails you get from Google, and also build a community that's willing to shout out and let you know when things are messed up. Like, I was so lucky. It started with Claire, my friend Claire, and then all of these fearless launchers reached out to me. They sent me screenshots of what was happening so I would see what was happening. I had all the material gathered, and I was able to just hand it right off to the appropriate people to fix it. So I feel really blessed that I had those people in my life, because I would have noticed it, because I had to post, I originally was going to post a blog post on that Monday, but there were already several that were not mine there. So I decided to clean things up before I started posting again. All right. So that's that. I'm still kind of amped up about this whole thing, but in the meantime, while I calm myself down, I'd love to hear from you. And if you've had to deal with this before, what you did to recover and what you're doing to make sure it doesn't happen again. Because I know it's gonna, you just have to think it may happen again. Here's how I'm gonna try to prevent it. All right, I think that's it. Okay, one more thing I'm gonna ask you to do. Subscribe to this channel because I would love to be talking to you every single week. You know, so far the response to my videos has been really fun. It's been so awesome because this is something that I really like doing. I have had issues with here and there in the past. You know, the normal, should I really be in front of the camera issues? But so I really am just, I love it when I get an email from you or I see a comment from you in the comments, and I just like knowing that I'm able to speak to you in a different way. So hit subscribe, leave me a comment below, or send me an email. The email's listed below too, and I will speak to you next week. Take care.